Shay family, this your guy, man. Amon Rose. Not gonna do the whole introduction. Trying to keep it a little short today because I have a lot of stuff on my phone and I don't know how much film I got. Um, so here is a request video. Um, the Phoenix Moors versus the Dragon Moors. I've done a video about this before. I've done several videos about this before. I can't find them on Facebook. I can't find the one that I know that I put on YouTube. It's actually gone. And I want to start off with this because this is going to be a very somewhat short video, because everything that I told you guys prior to this about them changing information, me telling you guys everything is connected, me telling you guys especially you young people, man, document as much as you can, whether it's storing it somewhere else, creating. Now, I must say this. I created my YouTube page to document my children. That was the first thing I did. That was, if you look on my YouTube page and go all the way down to the very first videos, it's my boys' highlights for playing football. I just wanted somewhere where I can tell my family to go and watch the boys, you know. Didn't stay that way. um, it actually, my YouTube page is a very clear picture of my conscious awakening and travels and journey. So I haven't deleted, important stuff. Now, I will say this. I did delete some videos that I felt as though I had the incorrect information, okay? But with that being said, I want to say this. They are changing the information right in front of our faces. Now, this is why I say document, because here it is. I dove into the Moors because, once again, I told you guys know that first thing first, I can't stand the Moors. Now, but trying to catch you guys up, I always, kind of revered the Moors. Like, dang, man, these brothers are smart. Why does it cost us $500 to try to get our Moorish ID? Why does it do this? Why these brothers ain't really helping us? Why these brothers ain't really, what's going on? Why isn't there a Moorish temple in every now? And this was like 8-9 years ago. I went and searched every Moorish temple that was supposed to be listed here in Vegas. All of them were closed. All of them were gone. I'll see a brother with a fez. I'll stop and talk to him. Blah, blah, blah. It just never worked out. I mean, they just seemed like they was always running and hiding and ducking from some shit. So I never got to sit down and talk to someone face to face about more science and diving deeper into their studies. So I had to resort to what online. And somebody, it wasn't even me, family. Somebody said something about the war between the Dragon Moors and the Phoenix Moors. So I looked it up. There was tons of information. I mean, it was documented to the T about how, and I'm going to show you how you can find it now, okay? You can't find, if you look up Dragon Moors versus Phoenix Moors, it's going to tell you it's a fictional situation, that it's fictional. They never existed. There's no such thing as Dragon Moors. There's no such thing as Phoenix Moors. But wait a minute, that's a lie. So it's a lie because I know I've seen it. I know I've studied it. Now, I'll say this to you. You guys can find the Battle of Walton Moors, the Moors conflicts. Google Moorish or Moor conflicts, and they'll show you all of these wars or battles from like 711, 722 AD, 732 AD, 10 AD, the 11th and 13th century. They'll show you all these battles between these people. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to get confused because you're going to see Italian, you're going to see the words Arabic, you're going to see a lot of different words that you normally don't relate to us. But no, the first Italians was us. The first Europeans was us. So you have to know that before you study. Now, it's going to be harder to connect the dots now. Okay? When you read Europe, when you read about these battles in Europe, that you're going to be like, that wasn't Moors. Yes, it was. It's right there. It tells you that it was Moors. And most people are going to read it and be like, that ain't got nothing to do with black folks. Yes, it does. Those are black men. Those are black men and women. Those are Moorish people. Those are black people battling. Now, the Dragon Moors versus the Phoenix Moors. I'm going to try to break it down to terminology that you guys are using now versus them discrediting the dragons and the phoenixes, right? All right. So the Dragon Moors and the Phoenix Moors are elite black people. They used to take turns ruling the area or ruling the land for 5 to 10 years. Don't give me the numbers right here. They're not accurate because I don't remember the length of the time that they actually ruled. So I'm just making up numbers on this one. I'm honest and tell y'all when I'm telling you a made up shit, right? So let's just say for 5 years the dragons would rule, or 20 years the Dragon Moors would rule, and then the next 20 years the Phoenix Moors would rule. And it may be even longer than that because there was a conflict of you guys aren't doing what you said you was going to do. You guys aren't providing what you said you was going to provide. So there was some people bumping heads. Like I said, let me use the terminology that you guys will understand. Now remember, these brothers are elite. They run everything. They control the area. Let's just use Las Vegas for example, right? So for 50 years, the Dragon Moors would run it. Then for the next 50 years, the Phoenix Moors would run it. Somewhere in between them running their issues, they didn't uphold some of the rules and some of the laws and some of the regulations that they were supposed to uphold, and then it became a tit for tat type of situation. So the terminology that you guys can understand, the Dragon Moors are the Crips, Phoenix Moors are the Bloods. Bam, conflict. Same people, same situation. They are, somebody stepped on somebody's toe. Somebody said your girlfriend was ugly. Somebody was fucking somebody else's girlfriend. We don't know these conflicts, why these conflicts popped off. But once again, if you want to study this, you're going to have to go, and now you're going to have to connect the dots because they've erased all the history of the Dragon and Phoenix Moors. And I've told you guys that they were going to start doing this. Once again, y'all need to call me a prophet, man, and I'm not doing this for a profit. Because I told y'all, start documenting everything. Go to other pages, go to other media outlets and document your stuff. I mean, all honestly, once again, that's why I did YouTube. It was for documentation. Now, it's sad that these people can actually go in there and delete shit. Who knew? But if enough of you guys do it, you can actually share the information and spread the information and continuously spread the information. So the Dragon Moors and the Phoenix Moors are the elite black people. And once again, here's another name that you guys will understand. Excuse me. They were and it's different. It's different. It's different. I don't want to say the same thing. It's the same thing, but it's different because they actually was out in the open running things. The Dragon Moors and the Phoenix Moors was actually, um, I use Europe as an example. Look up the Dark Ages of Europe. Who was in charge? Who ran that 700-year span? Who was in charge? Um, the Black Boule. Okay, so and here's another example. You don't like Crips and Bloods? Here's the Black Boule. You got actors and athletes. You got actors and athletes. You got politicians and athletes. You always going to have a division, and that's the way that they controlled us. That's one of the ways that they've controlled us for thousands of years. Family is separatism. Um, these elite brothers, these elite clowns. I ain't even gonna call them brothers. They're clowns. Because don't think that these brothers don't know what they're doing. Because you still have Moors running around today. They just changed their name. The same way that I try to tell y'all stop using African, American, and all this other stuff and get back to the origins. It's all they did with the Moors. The Moors didn't change their names from the Phoenix Moors and the Dragon Moors to just Moors. Then some people broke off and said, you know what, man, we just need to conform to what everybody else is doing. Because you'll see a lot of Moorish people, but a lot of people have dropped that Moorish name. The Boulets are, if you read about the Boule people, the families, all they did was incorporate what the Moors was doing. Okay, let me explain this part right here. All the Europeans did was what the Moors taught them to do. Now, here's how the Boule family became the Boule family, if you guys don't know. The Boule family are basically the offsprings of the slave masters. Sororities and fraternities were created because I'm Sigma Phi Alpha Bone and Skull and Bones from Princeton, and you got all these slave babies. They can't go to Princeton. So hey, I want my kids to have this education. I want my half black babies to have a good education. Oh shit, let's create Howard. Start a university, man. Let these and these are the elite motherfuckers. These motherfuckers right here, they're part of the bloodline. They're the elite ones. They're the elite ones. They're gonna run the country. Not gonna be openly. They're gonna run it through us, but they're gonna control the Negro population. They're gonna control the fraternities. They're gonna control the sororities. They're gonna control all the athletes. They're gonna control. Hey man, we even gonna make them politicians. So that's what they did. And those are still what was instilled into the Europeans to do from the Moors. The Moors just did it with their children. I mean, the Europeans just did it with their children. The Boule family is nothing but slave babies. That's why I tell y'all can't trust these cats. You see anybody rocking a Boule or saying that they're part of the black elites, they cannot be trusted, because what's going to happen is every historical event, and I use the Congo war battles or massacre the most because there is footage. You can see these feds wearing rat coat tail motherfuckers lining up other brothers to kill. And why they did that, and here's the genius of these motherfuckers. Like I said, they've always been smart. It's a war. It's a battle. So they used to line up the indigenous people in a straight line so they can shoot through them. There's footage of that. And like I told you guys, some of the horrible things that they used to do during this time was cut off their hands and cut off their penises so they couldn't reprocreate. And what would happen is the whites and the other people would freaking rape everybody, and that's how you have this lighter race of people. It don't take, listen family, It doesn't take hundreds of years for this to go to this or close enough to this. It doesn't take that long. And they did it for 20 years. So in 20 years, you can say that's because they was raping the babies at 8, 9, 10 years old and impregnating them by the time they were 12. So you're going to have a race of people that look different than what I looked, or my mother looked, or my great grandmother looked. So, and you can look at, you can find that in Brazil. Now, Brazil was all about coffee and tobacco, but they have changed the information about the Phoenix Moors. They've done a good job of deleting it. It's been over a week that I was asked to do another video about the Phoenix and Dragon Moors. So I'm sorry I couldn't go deeper, but I've given you guys what you can do, and you're gonna have to read and connect the dots. You're gonna have to look at people, because just because they don't call themselves Moors, that doesn't mean they're not Moorish. That doesn't mean that they don't come from that system. The Black Boule come from the Moorish system. Anytime you, like I said, especially dealing with them, and I can't even say even when you're dealing with the British, right? Because those who these people's forefathers are is the British, right? Anytime you deal with the British and you see a picture of most of those historical moments, there's always a fez wearing motherfucker standing beside the person. You can find pictures of fez wearing motherfuckers with George Washington. You can find fez wearing motherfuckers with Christopher Columbus. You can find fez wearing motherfuckers with the Congo Wars or the Congo Massacre. You can find fez, corrupt, dirty motherfuckers throughout history. And is what I always try to tell you people that love Larry Hoover. You will find a fez motherfucker starting the goddamn gang violence, the gang wars. You'll find a dirty rat fez wearing motherfucker to start some of the most violent shit that we've done to each other. And like I said, don't think because this is a new era, this is a new time, that these motherfuckers ain't Moors. It's all from Moorish science. Gang banging is a European concept created by Moors. Look up Larry Hoover and Jeff Fort. Look up their early pictures. These motherfuckers are Moors. Okay. I know, like I said, I know y'all wanted a video on the Dragon and the Phoenix Moors. They've trashed the information. You're going to have to connect the dots. Don't look for Moorish. Look for the science. Look for the creating of a system and implementing it through us to not even uplift us. Look for black people doing something that doesn't help all black people. Okay, that's going to be the Boulets. That's going to be the gangbangers. That's going to be the politicians. That's going to be the church. Okay, most people think that the church isn't part of nothing. No, most of the preachers have to cross the line, y'all. Most preachers have to cross the line, and if you don't know what that means, once again, you have to learn the system. Learn the system so you see their actions and what they're doing versus a title. Okay, study Skull and Bones. Study the fraternities. Study the first sorority and fraternities out there and see who they were created for. You'll start connecting all the dots. Once again, once you study these things, you will see the traits. Okay, Moors are traitors. They set up things for just themselves because, once again, remember, they were supposed to rule for a certain amount of time, and they start setting up certain things for their families. And hey, man, you ain't supposed to do that. You're supposed to do it for all of us, and we're supposed to take turns. What are you doing? You can't create this, and then now we coming in and we got to redo the whole thing. That's why you have all these conflicts. Okay, so that's what it is, man. Unfortunately, they have definitely tore up any information from the Phoenix and the Dragon Moors. So here's how to connect the dots. Here's how to see these rats in plain sight. You still have them today. Once again, I'm not saying that the Moors is dead, the Moors is gone. Some of these Moorish brothers don't claim Moorish science anymore. You have a few that do. You have a few that still trying to teach the education of trying to be united. I just don't think they're trusted. They're trustworthy because their history is always a turncoat. Their history is always trying to set themselves up in alignment with other people versus us. Their history is always been aligning themselves up with other people versus us, giving other people power. Hey, just don't mess with us. You can find that shit here in America. In the Americas, when they first started slavery, there was people that did not have that. There were black people that their families never been part of slavery. There's black people that they will try to give credit to of owning a slave. First here in America. He's a turncoat. This man allowed them to say that he was the first person to own slaves when he himself was a slave. Never been out the country. He himself was a slave. So these brothers that start this shit, that's why I say, anytime you see somebody was the first of anything, that brother 9 out of 10 times turncoat, rat, snitch, Moor. Okay? Anytime you see a motherfucker say they was the first to do something and it ain't got nothing to do with us, turncoat. I'm gonna do this for the betterment of the other man. I'm gonna do this for the betterment of this man. I'm gonna do this for the betterment of that man, and in the process, fuck the black man. All right, went long enough. I told you I wasn't gonna be a long video. Then I end up going long anyway. But I apologize that the information wasn't as damning as it used to be. Like I said, they definitely whitewashed. That's why I wore my white today. But hey man, thank y'all for the advice. Once again, ask for any other videos. I love doing them. I love doing the research. I appreciate you guys. Hotel.